Welcome to today's official National Night Out Kickoff, a night when we all become neighbors as we join together to give crime a going-away party. Good afternoon. My name is Diana Klink, and on behalf of the City of Suffolk, it's indeed an honor and a privilege to welcome you to today's festivities. Please stand for the invocation provided by Vice Mayor Brown.
Good afternoon to all of you. Creator and sustainer of all that is or will ever be, accept our thanks for this day and all your blessings. We ask a special blessing and thanks for those that work so hard to put this function together tonight for our great citizens of our city. We ask you to bless them. Bless those within the community whom you're about to go around and visit, and continue to give us the wisdom and knowledge and strength that we can work together to rid crime within our communities and throughout the city. We give you the thanks. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. As I look around, we have a number of special guests with us this afternoon, and I'd like to recognize, of course, our Honorable Mayor, Linda Johnson, our Vice Mayor, Charles Brown, Councilman Charles Parr, Councilman Curtis Miltier, Councilman Roger Fawcett, Councilman Mike Duman, Councilman Lou Ward, and Councilman Jeff Gardy. We also have joining us our City Manager, Selena Cuffey-Glenn, our Deputy City Manager, Patrick Roberts, our Chief of Staff, Debbie George. Also joining us from our constitutional officers, we have Randy Carter, our Clerk of the Circuit Court. We have Thomas Hazelwood, our Commissioner of the Revenue. Also joining us is Ron Williams, our Treasurer, as well as Raleigh Isaacs, our Sheriff, and Phil Ferguson, our Commonwealth's Attorney. Rounding out our public safety partners, we have joining us Chief Thomas Bennett, Suffolk Police Department, as well as Chief Cedric Scott with Suffolk Fire and Rescue. Another special guest joining us this evening is Dr. Darren Whitney with Suffolk Public Schools Superintendent. Dr. Whitney, thank you for joining us. And of course, in addition to all of our other local, elected, and appointed officials, and all of you that are special for joining us this evening, thank you again for taking time to be with us tonight. At this time, I'd like to introduce our City Manager, Selena Cuffey-Glenn, who will provide tonight's opening remarks.
Thank you, Diana. Mayor Johnson, Vice Mayor, members of City Council, constitutional officers, appointed officials, fellow citizens, police and fire personnel, and our community leaders, good afternoon. Today we come to celebrate the 30th anniversary of a movement inspired by members of the public safety community to cultivate partnerships across this great country to say to crime and drugs, there's no place for you in our cities, in our neighborhoods. The National Night Out event reflects the resiliency of the movement. Our citizens, business leaders, faith partners, our mayor, vice mayor, members of city council, constitutional officers, and of course, our police, fire, and other public safety personnel. Each and every day, 365 days of the year, we must remind ourselves and those who we want to perpetuate an environment of fear that we will not relent or control our lives with crime in our city. The criminal element has no place in the city of Suffolk. So with great pride, the good people of Suffolk must stand up to the enemy of fear and say, this city belongs to each of us, and your presence is not welcome. Thank you.
Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't note that Delegate S. Chris Jones has joined us this evening as well. So Delegate Jones, thank you so much for being with us tonight. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce our mayor, the Honorable Linda T. Johnson.
Well, good evening. First of all, I think we need to say thanks for a beautiful evening. We couldn't have asked for better weather. No rain and the sun is shining. I want to thank all of you for joining us this evening as we kick off the National Night festivities. We'll soon be embarking on motorcade tours, visiting participating civic leagues, homeowners associations, businesses, condo associations, civic organizations, neighborhood watch groups, churches, as well as neighborhoods and communities that have all combined their efforts to give crime a going away party tonight. As the city manager just said, there's no place in Suffolk for crime. We don't want it. We want you to leave. No one else in Hampton Roads, or in Virginia for that matter, throws a party for National Night Out like we do in Suffolk. And we have a lot of awards to show that we do just that. And it's not possible without the hard work of a lot of dedicated volunteers that have spent countless hours over the past year getting this event ready for tonight. Every year, it seems like after tonight, tomorrow morning, people go into gear to get ready for doing this again next year. It takes a lot of effort by a lot of people. So as we go around tonight and we visit these communities and we think about all that it took to do this, let's remember to say thank you. I want to say thank you, too, to a lot of our businesses that have helped us over the years, and I see particularly here tonight, too, Target, thank you so much for everything you do, and of course Chick-fil-A is always with us throughout this. But there's so many people, too many that we can name. I do think this year's theme of Project 365, Happy to be Free, Crime and Drug Free, is especially appropriate, because I'm particularly proud to tell you that for the last several years, Suffolk is ranked among the lowest crime rates in the Hampton Roads region. That's not by accident. And I think if you kind of turn to the back, I don't know why our public safety folks always tend to stand in the back, but I think if we turn, we'll see why, and we need to give them a round of applause. Without a doubt, Suffolk has so much to be proud of and so much to celebrate. And can we be better? We can always be better. And that's what tonight is about. Tonight we get to go around as one community together. We get to move into everyone's neighborhood and become one. That's the goal. That's the goal of how we become the very best city that we can be. So as we do that tonight, let's remember that this is, I think it's 52 communities that we're going to visit. That's huge. And as we do that tonight, remember that each community is just filled with wonderful people that we all call our fellow Suffolkians. So let's get ready to have a great time. Let's say goodbye to crime, and you're going to hear some great initiatives from some of our other folks here in a few minutes as to what we're doing with our youth. It's a great time to be in Suffolk, and I'm just extremely proud to be a part of this. And this is going to be another #1 National Night Out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Now, on behalf of our Suffolk Public Safety Partners, we have joining us Chief Thomas Bennett.
Thank you, Diane, and good afternoon, everyone. I, too, would like to thank our citizens, our businesses, and our city departments, and our citizens in coming out tonight to support National Night Out. This is the one night each year that we all get together to make a statement that we're going to fight crime and keep our city safe. Each year when I attend National Night Out get-togethers, I see what makes Suffolk so special, and that's our people. Our people consistently demonstrate a willingness to get involved, a genuine concern, a willingness to work together, and most importantly, trust. We trust each other to get the job done and work together. I've got a little bit of good news I want to share with y'all tonight about crime. I always talk about crime just for a second on National Night Out. Thus far this year, we are down just a little bit over 10% in overall crime in the city of Suffolk. Some of the highlights of that are we're 100% down in homicides this year. Robberies in our city are 21% down, and burglaries are 30% down right now in our city. That can change, folks. That's real good numbers. We hope to keep that for the rest of the year, but we're all going to have to work together real hard to make that happen. I want to take this opportunity just to thank some very key groups and individuals that are responsible and help tremendously when it comes to public safety in this city. First of all, our mayor, vice mayor, our council members, and our city manager. Thank each and every one of you for your commitment to public safety. Y'all provide a lot of guidance, a lot of support, and we certainly appreciate that, all of your public safety departments. I want to thank the men and women of the Suffolk Police Department. I know how hard each one of you works day in and day out to make the city safe. While we can't do it by ourselves, we couldn't do anything if y'all weren't working very hard like you are, and I thank you, each and every one of you, for what you do. I also want to recognize and thank Sheriff Raleigh Isaacs and the member of the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff, you and your people are always very supportive, do everything you can to help fight crime in the city, and I thank you for what you do. Also, our Commonwealth Attorney is to my right, Mr. Phil Ferguson. Phil, I want to thank you and your staff. You're available to us day and night. You provide a tremendous asset in helping us get the appropriate people off the streets. And I think that's part of the reason we've been so successful for the first 6 months of this year. We've got a lot of the right people in jail. I want to thank our fire chief, Chief Scott, you and your team for everything you do, public safety in our city. Certainly appreciate it. And I saved the last and the most important for last, and that's our citizens. Your police department cannot be successful if we do not have your trust and your support. We have to have your help. You have to help us fight crime. If you don't, we'll be a failure, to be quite honest with you. In Suffolk, our citizens are very supportive of the police department. You help us fight crime. That's why we're doing so well, and I thank you for all that you do. Once again, thank you for all of you for coming out tonight and supporting National Night Out, and I'm now going to ask my colleague, Mr. Phil Ferguson, our Commonwealth Attorney, to come forward.
Chief, thank you very much. I'd like to echo all the thanks that the Chief gave to all our public safety partners, and as we've indicated for City Council, all the city staff, as well as the Chief said, probably one of the most important things is the people of Suffolk themselves, because we cannot be successful, all of us, unless we all work together in a spirit of cooperation. And that includes all of us, including the citizens of Suffolk. And that is a real key. Let me say that it's important that the theme this year is happy to be crime and drug free. And it does take all of us, parents, youth, clergy, businesses, educators, law enforcement, and local government working together to make a difference in our neighborhoods and our city. We must work together to guide our youth away from crime, drugs, and gangs, and we've got to help those who are already involved to leave this lifestyle. No one is immune from the impact that crime, drugs, and gangs can have on a community. Crime, drugs, and gangs cross all racial, ethnic, socioeconomic, and geographic boundaries, and they exist in urban, suburban, and rural communities. And together we can give at-risk youth our time, attention, and alternatives to a criminal lifestyle. Our youth, however, must understand that there are consequences for their actions, and those involved in crime, drugs, and gang activity will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. The safety of the communities in Suffolk has, and always will be the top priority for our office. And as your Commonwealth Attorney, I will certainly do everything in my power to enforce the laws of the state and to see that justice is done. Our office has continued to proactively work with young people within our community. And some of those involvements involve speaking to youth on internet safety for both middle and high school students, gangs and youth violence, the road to success on teenage driving. We have many court tours involving hundreds of young people that come into our court system so they learn the consequences of what can occur if one becomes involved in criminal activity. We have child abuse prevention. We have programs on keeping our children safe, on bullying in your children, and our annual forensics camp, which was just held in June of this year, and we had 57 youth participating. This year alone, our office has spoken to over 5,000 young people throughout the city on these topics and more. And all of us in the Suffolk Commonwealth Attorney's Office want only the best for our young people's future. We feel strongly that these programs and camps will positively broaden their minds and enhance their career decisions and community involvement. And I'm particularly pleased with the crime statistics that Chief Bennett pointed out to us, and I would suggest that all of us working together, including these prevention programs, are starting to have a significant positive impact on the young people in this city. And while all of us are gathered here tonight for National Night Out, certainly this one night is not a complete answer to crime, drugs, and gangs. However, it does represent the kind of spirit, energy, and determination that is helping to make our neighborhoods safer places throughout the year. And by working together in a spirit of cooperation with all of our citizens, we are letting criminals know that we have joined together in this fight to make Suffolk a safe place in which to live, work, and raise our families. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. As we travel throughout the city tonight, let us be mindful, as the mayor has alluded to, of the effort and the money and expense and time has been put forth by the citizens to make our visit a hospitable one. Also, let's remember that it's better to be a few minutes late than to not get there at all, so I would encourage those drivers tonight to be exceptionally careful in driving. We've been very fortunate in the past years that we haven't had any incidents. And with that, I hope to see you out there. I'm going to be brief, so have a good time.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cedric Scott, and I have the great honor of being the city's Chief of Fire and Rescue. And it is a great honor to stand before you today. And I want to begin my remarks by, first of all, thanking our citizens. Citizens, thank you for your continued support of public safety in this community. It is obvious, as I was out last year at National Night Out festivities across the city, that you believe in public safety and you support what we're trying to do. And I want you to know it does not go unnoticed. So thank you, citizens, for your continued support. I want to also thank the mayor and city council and the city manager for their continued support. We have, as you may have seen, we've had some new additions to our fleet. We've added 3 new ambulances to serve this community. And thank you, Mayor, Council, and City Manager, for continuing to believe in us and our efforts in the community. Thank you so much. I want to also thank all of my partners in public safety, and it is an honor to serve alongside you in serving our great community. And I want to personally thank you for what you do each day, and your dedicated staff as well for continuing to be there when the call comes in. I want to thank also the men and women of Suffolk Fire and Rescue for their tremendous job that they do each day. I sincerely salute their dedication and service to our city. And I want to also take a moment to recognize as well the many volunteers throughout our community. You know, we are supported by 4 volunteer fire departments in Chuckatuck, Whaleyville, in Holland, who am I leaving out here? Whaleyville, Chuckatuck, Holland, and Driver, right, on the fire side. And also I want to thank, we're supported also on the EMS side by NASMA Suffolk Volunteer Rescue Squad. And together, it's a combined effort together to serve the community. And I did not want to not miss out on recognizing our volunteers, because they could be doing something else besides coming in and volunteering. And that means a lot to us. And together we provide that support. National Night Out is a special time to me and our department because it gives us an opportunity to fellowship with our neighbors and the people we serve. And with that, I want to challenge everyone and leave you with a thought. A friend is somebody who knows you and likes you exactly the way you are. Someone who's special and so close in thought that no distance can ever seem far. A friend understands you without any words, stands by you when nothing goes right, and willingly talks over problems with you till they somehow just vanish from sight. And whether your neighbors or live far apart, a word from a friend gives a lift to your heart and spirit that shows once more why friendship is life's dearest gift. I challenge all of you tonight, go out and meet your neighbors and make a friend. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank all of our public safety partners for all that they do to enhance the safety of our citizens. I'd like to now take a moment to recognize the members of the City of Suffolk National Night Out Committee. I'd ask that they please stand. I know we've got a lot of people that are already standing, but if you're on our National Night Out Committee, please stand and give everybody a wave. These are some wonderfully dedicated individuals. I'd also like to especially thank Bill Gordon and our Target Distribution Warehouse, as well as their employees. They'll be joining us this evening as volunteers, and they'll also be visiting several communities with us as well. I also want to ask right now if Vice Mayor Brown, if you would provide our benediction, and then after which I'll provide some closing remarks.
Thank you. I want to make it clear I'm not a preacher, but I will get a benediction. I just want to remind all of you, and especially the volunteers, the staff, tonight as we depart, to give us an opportunity to go within our communities, not only to work towards ridding the community crime, drugs, and other devices, but it's give us an opportunity to build relationships. So tonight, as we depart, I hope we take advantage of this beautiful day. And without other ado, I want to say good night. Thank you.
Now, if all of our evening's tour coordinators would stand, we've got special signs for our tours. We actually have tours 1 through 7 that are going to be departing this evening. As you came in, we gave little handouts that listed exactly what neighborhoods are involved in each of these tours. Determine which tour you'd like to participate in. Follow the appropriate tour coordinator to the motorcade vehicles located in the parking lot. Leave your cars here if you'd like. If you're going to be joining us, we'll bring you back to this facility following the evening's festivities. We've got an eventful evening planned for you. In the next few hours, you're guaranteed a good time, good company, and good food. Thank you for joining us.